What is up, guys, and welcome back to episode number 38 now of the Leeds United career mode here on YouTube in FIFA 17. The title of this one is the all games are seeming to be a battle right now, or something along those lines. The reason for that is because the three games that you are going to see in today's episode are pretty much us battling away to try and pick up as many points as we possibly can here in the Premier League. I have to say as well, three very good games coming up in today's episode, the first of which we travel to the Stadium of Light to take on Sunderland here. David Moyes still in charge, which is very weird to see after being already a season in charge. He's kept his job here for another year in the second season, and he's going to be leading his side out here at home to take on the upcoming new Premier League winners at some point. I'm hoping that we will be in Leeds United. So he travelled over to Sunderland to take on the team from, obviously, Sunderland in the up north, and travelled over to the Stadium of Light. They did have a number of players in their side, which I was very interested in. They did actually play a lot of youth as well, with Jordan Pickford in goal. They also played, what's his name, the left winger? I can't quite remember his name. Is it Duncan Watmore? That's it. They played Watmore as well, and they also had the veteran goal scorer in Jermaine Defoe. So I was very interested to see which way this game went, because Defoe, obviously, in real life, is very good. I rate Defoe. I always have done. I think he's an extremely good player. He was good for us in England, in my opinion, when he did play. He may have not scored the greatest or the most amount of goals for England, but I just think, as an English goal scorer, he is born to score goals, and that's why he kept Sunderland up in the Premier League last year. May not do it this year in real life, because at the moment, Sunderland seems to be the new Aston Villa. They're struggling right now for real life results. However, in the game, they're doing quite well here in this Premier League season, so it was nothing that I was ever going to come here to the Stadium of Light and expect this to be an easy game. But I did want us to try and pick up the 3 points here, because I talk about this quite a lot in our Leeds United career mode, and I speak about the teams that we should be beating and the teams that we are looking most likely to pick up 3 points against. And this Sunderland side would have been that. As you see, the side that they named, very strong, or pretty much the strongest possible side, barring Lenz on the bench. He was one of the people that I probably would have reckoned could have got in this side today. That was our side. On the other side of that, though, a very strong side from us as well. You know, there's no doubt in the fact that we need to be naming our strongest possible side. We're out of Europe, obviously. We got knocked out a few episodes ago. It might have even been last episode. So we need to make sure now we're just doing well in the Premier League and the FA Cup when that rolls round. So there's no point why we can't, or there's no reason why we can't name our strongest team in pretty much most of the Premier League games that we do play. But the first chance fell Sunderland's way 10 minutes into this one. Catamol into Paddy McNair, into Jermaine Defoe. Defoe's absolutely unbelievable effort, bouncing off both posts before coming out to the loving hands of Lee Catamol, who pushed the ball into the back of the net to make it Sunderland 1, Leeds United 0 here at the Stadium of Light. Literally 12 minutes on the clock. And these Sunderland fans must have been loving that strike from Jermaine Defoe. Very unlucky that it didn't actually go in off of the post, as it bounced back off the other one. But Lee Catamol was there to pick up the pieces. But 17 minutes in, we tried to get ourselves back in this one. Moat through to Kamaru. He's going to beat the goalkeeper to it. And the goalkeeper there, I have to say, in Pickford, who didn't get to the ball quick enough. He wasn't quite quick enough. And Kamaru just uses pace to his advantage. Gets there ahead of the man. Slides in to make it Leeds United 1, Sunderland 1 here. And I was very happy that we managed to get pretty much an instant reply in this one. Yes, we didn't probably deserve to be 1-0 down there through that absolutely crazy strike from Jermaine Defoe before it rebounded into the hands of Lee Catamol. But with the fact that we got an instant reply made me a very happy man. It came through basically nothing as well. It was a very poor ball in the end. And Kamaru just used his pace, got there ahead of Pickford, and just slotted that one to make it 1-1. Very lucky, I have to say as well, because if Pickford was slightly quicker and actually made himself a little bit bigger, we may have struggled to get that past the goalkeeper. But we didn't manage to... we did manage to get past him, and he didn't manage to make himself big enough to stop the ball going in the back of the net. So 18 minutes in here at the Stadium of Light, and it's 1-1 apiece. As Sunderland really, and should have really made it 2-1 here. A wonderful strike you're going to see in a second from Lee Catamol. Only just coming back off that post. So Catamol could have had himself 2 goals in the game here. And it would have been very frustrating if we'd have conceded that one and made it basically 2 goals conceded from 2 very good strikes, I have to say, from Sunderland. As we should have been well in the lead ourselves there, as you saw. Very good chance for Kamaru to make it 2-1, but we didn't manage it. An 89th minute in the game now. Surely going to be blowing up to make this a 1-1 draw here at the Stadium of Light. But Castilla had other ideas. Gave it into Miguel. Miguel inside to Kamaru. Kamaru through ball. Get very lucky. The respect that Patrick Van Aanholt can't quite make the tackle, but you've guessed it. Miguel smashes that one into the bottom corner to make it Sunderland 1, Leeds United 2, and the Youth Academy player, we put our faith in him last season alongside Joel Green, one of the other ones coming from the Youth Academy. These two seems to be the 2 lads that have made it out of the Youth Academy and are in our team quite a lot. We've obviously got the likes of Jackson and Allen, who still are at the club, but they don't feature as much as the Joel Green and Miguel do for us. And Miguel has just made himself a hero for the side here. So 90 minutes into this game, basically the last kick of the game, and Miguel has got us the 3 points surely at the Stadium of Light. We probably didn't deserve it if you take away the 2 chances that Sunderland had. Very good chance, I have to say. But I'll take every single point we can get. And the fact that we pick up 3 there in an absolute battle of a game. I mentioned it in the start of this episode, the episode being calling, the fact that we've been in battles all the way through this episode. Because you're going to see the 2 other games are big games, and we have to battle to try and get the results that we do in those 2. But the fact that we did it there, we dug deep, we found something in the team to be able to get ourselves the full 3 points out of that game. I was extremely pleased with the way we played in that one. The fact that we only had 5 shots and 2 of them were converted into the back of the net. We may have not deserved to win the game and get the full 3 points, but we did manage to do it, and that's all that matters. It was hard fought, well battled, and we dug deep to get the result there. So that's all I can ask of the side. You're seeing as well training. Lafont now an 80 rated goalkeeper, looking to make him 81 off of this training session. I do think he goes to an 81. Yes, he does. Now at an 81. So we've got Joel Green 82 rated, almost 83, and we have Lafont, who is now an 81, closing in on that 82 rated goalkeeper. So those 2 right now looking like they are growing extremely well. Giving a few contracts to a few players as we are approaching January as well. You can see which players are given contracts to and why. To basically give you an understanding of why I gave Pablo Hernandez another contract here. Literally, I know he's decreasing, but at the same time, he's still a solid player, and he's doing a job for us here in the Premier League. And I just don't see it fair that we may only have to pay him an extra £5,000 a week, and I don't see it fair for us to let him just leave the club for free and then basically, join one club for another year. I want him to retire here at Leeds. He's done us a job, and I see it's only fitting, as he did play against his former side in Swansea here, and we were looking again off the back of that good performance and the hard-fought win against Sunderland at the Stadium of Light to do exactly the same, except we were the home side in this one. I was coming here to take on Swansea at home with the home fans backing me in this one. You see the side that we've named in just a second. Swansea City weren't doing too badly themselves either in the Premier League. There's a number of teams actually in this Premier League season that are doing better than I'm expecting, and yet there's some of the teams that I was expecting to do better than they are. So it's sort of a bit of a weird season so far in this one. There's a number of teams who are actually doing better than expected and where I feel they should be, and there's a number of teams that aren't doing as well as I'd have hoped. So Swansea into 13th place is not great, but again, you look at the teams below him in Southampton, West Ham, and I think there's another big team below him again, and you have to say, Swansea, although they're not doing great, neither of the sides below them in terms of what I was expecting them to actually do. So we're actually not doing too badly this season so far. We picked up a win last game. Looking to do the same here. You'll see the teams, as you saw, we are the lowest scoring team in the division with a joint. We're actually joint lowest scoring with the side that are sat bottom, and that's Everton. Everton, guys, are sat in 20th place in the league. They are dead bottom, and somehow they may get relegated in this. I have no words for that. If you see the team they've got, I actually think as well, Lukaku's obviously not there because he's gone. He went to Manchester United last season for like 56 million or something crazy like that. So that's the only real big name that I think they have lost in this career mode. So they still have Barkley, they still have Enner Valencia. They were an FA Cup finalist last year, for God's sake. They almost beat us in that FA Cup final. We were very lucky to actually have beaten them there. So that 3-0 victory you got against them earlier on in this season doesn't look, it was a very good result, I have to say, but it's not as good as I made out it was, because I actually thought Everton were going to be a tough test, but they weren't. They're sat bottom of the league so far, so their fortunes need to turn around. However, if they go down, we may be able to pick up a few little players in there in the Championship that they will have to get rid of because the players don't want to play Premier League football. So there could be a cheeky little offer made for Ross Barkley if he's still at Everton if they do get relegated. That is, I don't know if they're going to get relegated. There's still a long way of this season to play. So it could all change by the end of the 38 games played in the Premier League season. But if they do get relegated, we may be able to pick up a few cheeky deals on the other side of that. And if they move down to the Championship, they've got a couple of good players in the likes of Coleman, Gareth Barry's about 40. Why would I sign Gareth Barry? I mean, Ross Barkley, just Gay as well. He's very, very good. I am a big fan. Morales as well. So they have a few little hidden gems in there. So maybe come summer next year, we'll have to see where they end up. And if they do end up in the Championship, we may be able to get a few players on the cheap. However, we went into this game here against Swansea City looking for as good a result as we got in the last game of the episode. 7 minutes into the game, we created our first chance, so we'll be getting into a very good position. But again, I spoke about this numerous times in this series so far. his composure in front of goal is just not there for the young man. I need to try and make it so he can be a bit more composed in front of goal. 22 minutes in, lovely work by Kamaru. Sets through Pablo Hernandez against his former club, and he really should have made the score 1-0 there. 45 minutes in, we get a free kick on the edge of the area. Very lucky, I have to say. I didn't feel as though at the time it was a free kick. But again, I'll take every bit of luck that we can get in this one. We're going to put Pablo Hernandez on it against his former club. Is he going to make it 1-0 in this game, just as he should have done? His effort is on target, but it comes back off the bar and ends up going into the hands of a Swansea defender. So no rebound for us there. Very unfortunate to not be a goal up in this one. We had 3 good chances in the early part of this half. The free kick for Pablo Hernandez there, the one that he should have actually scored when we chipped him through with Kamaru. And then if Iwobi keeps his composure in front of goal, he also scores that one. So 3 chances to go 1-0 up in this one. We didn't take any of them. And I have to say as well, Swansea weren't sat back. They wanted as much of a win as we did out of this one, although their chances weren't as good. I'll show you as well. They actually had no shots in the first half, but I can tell you, second half, they came out the blocks and they wanted a bit more out of the game. They did try and come forward, but again, the chances weren't that great in terms of what they created, so it wasn't really worth showing you. Pablo Hernandez, 64 minutes in, with pretty much our best chance of the second half to get ourselves a goal there. Good save in the end by Fabianski in the Swansea goal. The header is straight at Fabianski from the resulting corner, though, and we didn't manage to make it 1-0. And that was the way the game would end. So a very difficult draw here, I have to say. It was one of those games, it was a bit tough in terms of breaking Swansea's defence down in the first half. They basically sat back, just watched me play football. Second half, they did come out and try and get themselves something out of it, as you saw there with the 2 shots. None of which were really great, though, so there's no point in me showing it. But so far this episode, we picked up 3 points against Sunderland in a game that was very tough. We picked up a point there against Swansea in a game that was very tough. However, if you take away the fact that we should have put away numerous chances that we had in that one, we should have possibly come away with a full 3 points from that one. But 4 points from a possible 6, I'll happily take that. We're sat in 10th place at the moment in the Premier League. Yes, it's not brilliant, but if you take a look at the team that we've actually got here at Leeds United at the moment, it's I'd say we're overachieving for what the board would want. They said they wanted a mid-table finish within the first 2 years here at Leeds in the Premier League. We've at the moment are getting a mid-table finish in our first season here at Leeds. So if we can keep up what we're doing, the board should be happy enough with how we're doing. We had the 3rd and final game of this episode up against Norwich City, one of the other sides to come up from the Championship with us. Surely you're going to be looking at this one thinking we can get the 3 points from this. We're at home. We have the home advantage. I'm looking at this thinking there's no reason why we shouldn't get the 3 points from this game. But again, it's going to be a tough battle because no side in this Premier League are going to be a slouch. Maybe Everton, I suppose. No disrespect to them in real life, but at the moment in this game, they are doing so terribly bad. Sat in 20th place. They're the lowest scoring division, or the lowest side scoring in the division, alongside ourselves, obviously. But at the same time, we're not conceding, whereas Everton now. So that's the sort of reason why they're sat 20th and we're sat 10th. That's literally it. We've scored the same amount of goals as them. However, we're not conceding goals, and they are. So I suppose it's a credit to the defence that we've got here at Leeds United. At the same time, though, it's not credit to the fact that we are missing so many chances. But I'll take, I'll take the wins that we're getting, because some of the times that we're getting these wins, it's tough wins, and we're managing just about to do it. And you look at the sides that we've lost the games to, and you look at them in Palace, who are sat 3rd. You look at them in Spurs, who are sat 1st. So already 2 losses that we've had this season, they were against the top 3 teams, pretty much, apart from one of the sides that are in 2nd place. So Palace and Spurs beating us, and, they are high in the league, so I suppose it's to be expected there. But 28 minutes into this one, something happened here as Stephen Naismith went on a Lionel Messi run. I just could not tackle him for the life of me, and the Scotsman ends up having a wonderful effort, saved by Laford. It really should have been 1-0, and it deserved a goal there from Stephen Naismith. Very Lionel Messi-like, but he couldn't quite convert the chance into a goal. And 76 minutes into this one, we had our first chance of the game, and pretty much our only chance of this game, as Alex Moat turned to strike the ball goalwards, but unfortunately his effort blazed over the bar. And I have to say, no side deserved to come away with 3 points from this one. It was a very, very sloppy 0-0 sort of. It should have been 0-0 draw, but you're going to see 84 minutes in, give away a free kick in a sloppy position. Robbie Brady with a cross into Stephen Naismith somehow has the time to bring it down in his chest and fire a strike goalwards, which somehow beats my defender and beats Lafont in the goal. So here, we don't deserve to lose a game. We didn't deserve to win it, but I didn't feel as though Norwich deserved to win it either. Where there was 2 good chances in the game, both of them going 1 apiece to either side, apart from that one there. And Stephen Naismith comes up with a moment of magic, as Norwich would, in fact, defeat us by a 0-0. So I was very disappointed to lose this one. I have to say, it was one of the most frustrating games I've played. As you can see, they had 3 shots, 3 on target. We had 5 and 2 on target. No side, in my opinion, deserved to win that one. If you take away the chances, obviously, there weren't too many in that game. Obviously, there was more shots, but I didn't show you them because the chances weren't that great. And I didn't feel we deserved to lose that one by a 0-0, but we did. And that makes it 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss from today's episode. All 3 of the games were tough. And that moves us also down into 11th place. You'll see the league table now in this one. I want to thank you all so much for watching this episode. I want to thank you all so much for the support you're showing on the series so far as well. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Career Mode, and I'll see you all for the next episode very soon. Adios.